Welcome to this week's Reflection on Love and Gratitude. I'm Dr. Nathalie Turgeon, and I'm so glad you are here. This podcast is the audio version of my weekly video series, where we explore profound insights into love, gratitude, on this journey to your higher self. If you would like to experience the full video, complete with visuals and a more immersive connection, visit my YouTube channel. Your support means everything. Whether you listen, watch, or share these reflections, let's begin this week's journey together. Good morning and welcome to my weekly Love and Gratitude series. I'm always grateful to share with you what I shared in French. So this is week 22, the last episode of this beautiful season, but it is not the ending. So if you have watched or listened to all the episodes, you might have felt it like a journey. Although I did not pre-plan for it to be like this, it really simply was from week to week happening. And around week 14, I think, I saw how it was a beautiful spiritual journey for many. And this week is where the real journey begins. Not in seeking, not in striving, but in being. So if you have walked through all the previous reflections with honesty, if you have opened a few e-guides, met yourself in the silence, questioned old beliefs, let go of roles, identities, ego-based identities, and illusions, then whether you knew it or not, you have been preparing for this all along. And if you have not followed any of the episodes and you just arrived here today while enjoying your own spiritual journey, you still arrive at the same point in your development or evolution, where or when it's time to live the truth that you are. So this precious step is not about getting one last answer, seeking more truth. It is about releasing the seeker that you were entirely, because you have discovered that the one who was searching was never separate from what was being pursued. I found out that while we are the seeker of truth, there is something we can call a beautiful trap. It's not actually beautiful at first or while stuck in it, but it becomes beautiful when you realize that it was a trap, allowing the awareness freeing your mind from the ego-based control and even the ego false identity it made of itself. So the ego made itself to be almighty, while it was simply a neutral element to perceive the physical life experiences. So let's start here in something we probably all have experienced. We begin a spiritual awareness path because we want to know something. Sometimes we have an idea of what we want to discover or uncover, and sometimes we are not exactly sure, but one thing that we seek is the desire to know the truth, to see the truth. So we seek clarity, healing, peace. We want to understand what life is, who we are, why some things hurt so much. So we turn to books, teachers, practices, we meditate, we read, we analyze, we go to retreats, we repeat mantras. We try to be better. We try to be spiritual. But there is something veiled that no one tells us right away when they know it, until they themselves are walking the way, even if their walk is unstable. Seek not outside yourself, for it will fail, and you will weep each time an idol falls, as we can read in A Course in Miracles. So you see, when the search is outside of ourselves, we assume that we are not already what we seek, and the ego loves to keep us in the endless search. It is endless because the truth is not in illusion. It is not anywhere in the results. So the ego disguises itself as a spiritual ambition, a spiritual way to find the truth, when really it's causing just more separation, because we are using them as if the truth needed an external something to be found, an external path to reach it. Those many external ways become like little idols we use, thinking the truth can be only found through them. That God, the divine mind, higher consciousness, the I am, whatever feels right for you, can only be found through those signs, those ways, those practices. So we start idolizing them. They might be a door to enter that inner place They might be the thing that can silence the ego-based mind to connect within. But very often, those become so important that they are associated to the only way to seek truth. And something else I would like to say about this is that we often see people using one way to connect within, to connect to their higher self or the divine mind. Then from the amazing connection they felt, an amazing place they found themselves into, using that specific way, they start to believe that this is their way to find truth. And they start to discard all the other ways as being wrong, forgetting that they only chose an idol, as if the divine mind could only come through this one and this one only. And this actually separates them even more from the truth, because they start seeing other people as wrong, other people's ways as wrong, judging their ways, their chosen door. But there is one door that is always open and never needs an image or a sign to be seen or followed or worshipped. It is the door within. That main door brings anyone to the truth instantly, the truth beyond the ego veil. So no matter the path we choose, the practice we choose, the book we read, or the teacher we listen to, there are ways for us to awaken a little more each time, to find truth a little more each time. So it is to allow us to move beyond the seeker that we are and see who we really are and live as we are. Even this series serves as an external door. That's what we offer when we help others. We help people find their inner door. Let's take a moment to reflect on this. Ask yourself, what was I seeking when I began listening to this series? What was I hoping to find or fix or heal in myself? Did it help me to hear what I needed to hear from within or connect better with my higher self? I hope it did. So you see, that's what a way or a door does. It's to help you connect within yourself. The shift from seeking to being is not about becoming passive or abandoning expansion. Some people think of being as if nothing is done anymore, and we become passive without enjoying our desires. That's an ego-based definition. It's about shifting from becoming to being. So we stop chasing wisdom and we live it. So yes, we still look outside where our life is, but we are simply allowing truth to radiate from within. Neville Goddard said it beautifully. Stop trying to become and be. To be conscious of being is to be alive, as we can read in The Power of Awareness. And that's it. That's the entire shift. And the ego will make you believe that you are not there yet, that you need more wisdom, you need to find more, to search more, to understand more, that life is an endless search of who you are, who we are, that we need to find the light or find the light within. We are not here to find the light. We are the light. I'm going to repeat this one. We are not here to find the light. We are the light. And everything we once pursued was simply leading us back to our own luminous center. So once you know that, you live by being from within. Of course, we still do things because that's what we do. We expand through creativity and creation. Those are two different things. I work with many women who have been seeking for years and even decades. They have read every book about finding the truth, followed every teacher synchronicity was allowing, and yet they still felt like something was missing. And I can almost say that each one of them at one point, after a deep moment of true silence, when their ego was not present in their mind, they realized and they said, I don't know what just happened, but I suddenly feel like I don't need anything anymore. I just want to sit here. I feel whole. It's like as if I found myself again and I feel this inner power to shine who I am. That's a major breakthrough. And that's amazing because from then things are unfolding differently. I experienced that too. So it is not through a spiritual technique or practice that this is happening. It was not from doing more or learning more. It was from undoing the seeker identity ways and meeting our inner self. The paradox or the contradiction is that the ending of the search does not end the journey. It actually starts a different one. This week's topic and title is called Beyond the Seeker. The path is not over. Ending the search does not mean there's nothing left to discover. It means you no longer look from lack, from absence, from separation, from your ego-based thought system. You walk forward with completeness. It's the birth of the embodied mystic. You don't need to chase spiritual experiences. You become the one who lives truth in how you speak, how you rest, how you love, how you breathe. You don't stop experiencing life ups and downs, but you live them in truth from a different vibrational frequency. So you walk by faith, but not an ego-based one where you still try to outrun the divine timing. You live truth in all you do. Not perfectly, but consciously. In some religious practices or belief, walking the truth is called enlightenment. Enlightenment is not a matter of finding the answer. It is the dissolution of all questions. Then life begins, not as a seeker, but as a presence itself, as we can read in The End of Your World. So instead of going through life in a survival mode, you live. So life is no longer about survival, but about fate. Let's look at this together. It's easy. If all the questions fell away, who am I? What should I do? What if I fail? What would remain? Presence itself, not as a concept, but as a quiet, eternal pulse of being, your truest essence, the you that never needed fixing, the you that is experiencing and expanding, and the ego is completely neutral, like it was meant to be. So it keeps showing us mental static memories, but that's it, that's what they are, memories of old data that once existed. We don't give them space, because we don't even want to do that. And the higher self cannot use them because that's not the story that is written now. So what does embodying truth in daily life mean practically? Well, it means you don't rush to solve an emotion. You sit with it in awareness. You don't try to control your future. You trust your alignment in the now, so you stop outrunning the timeline, trying to pull the seed so it grows faster, or you start trying to open the petal to see the flower bloom quicker. You know that everything has its own sequencing. You trust it. And the more you connect, the more you see the sequencing unfolding. You don't need to prove your worth, not to others, not to yourself, not even to God. You express from your wholeness. You don't need to explain yourself or justify who you are. Only the ego will want to justify itself because what it does, it's for its ego-based control. But when you live from your truth, there's no justification to be given to anyone. So you live your truth in silence, in simplicity, and in joy. Being the embodiment of truth is not passive. It's actually powerful. It's grounded. You walk into a room and shift the atmosphere without even saying a word, just because you breathe in who you are and you simply let it all out. So not because you're trying to be spiritual, but because you're real. You're simply real. So to help you align with your beautiful being that you are, here is a practice to close this session and open this new chapter. I invite you to do this after. You can pause or do it after the episode. So you sit in stillness for 5 minutes. Don't grab any thoughts coming to your mind. Let them pass like the cars on the street. Focus on your breath, breathing in and out, and smile. Place your hand on your heart and speak these words aloud. I am no longer seeking, I am living. I am not becoming light, I am light. I am not waiting for truth, I am truth in motion. Repeat to feel them. Let these words be absorbed by your being. They are not affirmations, but remembrances. Try it later after the episode or pause now if you want to do it now. Like I said in the beginning, this is the final episode of this first season. And while I started with recording videos, I ended up recording the past 4 weeks in audio version. And it was easier for me to record audios than setting up the space and equipment to record videos, I admit. But it was important for me to continue. And it's the same thing about today's topic. It is not an ending, but a continuation. So if you have truly done the inner work along this journey, You have already walked through 22 veils of illusion. You have met yourself over and over. You have taken apart false identities. You have begun to listen deeply to your inner self and not to the noise of the world, so to the voice of truth within yourself. There's nothing left to get right. There's only the quiet joy of walking in awareness, or of resting in being, of letting your life become a living testament, not to how much you know, but to how deeply you embody. And that is where season 2 will begin. I am allowing myself to be inspired for what the next season will hold, so not with more seeking, but with the gentle fire of living truth, one breath at a time. So with much love, with reverence, with truth, I am really happy that you were part of this Love and Gratitude series. Thank you for taking the time to take the time each week with me. Thank you for sharing it with your friends and loved ones. And always remember to always breathe in, to let go of all your ego-based thoughts and vision, to see from your soul, and to love out. I'm looking forward to sharing more videos with you until the next season starts, probably after summer. You can always find me on pretty much all social media platforms. Have a beautiful and grateful day. See you soon. If this reflection resonated with you and you feel called to continue your inner journey, I invite you to explore the e-guides I have created to support your path. And if this reflection has touched your heart, donations are always welcome as a thank you of gratitude. You will find all the links in the description. No matter how you choose to walk alongside this work, know that your presence and openness are always deeply appreciated.